Hi, my name is Christine Walsh, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to use a pouch sling. The first thing that you need to know about pouch slings is that you need to know how to choose the correct size. You measure the fitment of a pouch sling by putting it on the shoulder and then measuring it down to the hip. They're generally single size, and this is the correct fit for me. And it can be tightened or loosened and used in a couple different carries by shifting the way you position it on your shoulder. This is a cotton 7 sling, and I actually prefer a fleece pouch sling if I'm going to use one, simply because I find it has a little bit more give, so it tends to mold a little bit better to baby. But these 7 slings are some of the most common ones that you'll find, and they're the ones that you get coupons for a free sling. All you have to do is pay shipping. So when you're positioning a sling, there's usually a seam, and the seam right here has the tag on it, and we're going to put that seam right behind baby's back. So I'm going to go ahead and put it over my shoulder, and we're going to demonstrate tummy to tummy first, because that one's my favorite. And I'm going to be using a doll because my baby is much too big for this right now. So I have the seam centered on my body, and I have the pouch opened a little bit. And I'm going to pick up my baby doll, and open the pouch from the bottom and reach in and settle her bottom right down into it, pulling it open as she comes down into the pouch, making sure that her legs spread and come up so that her knees are above her little weighted bottom. And the seam is aligned right with her backbone. And you can see that she's positioned close to me, but you can see there's a little bit of slack. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the shoulder out and flip it down. And I actually like to also reach around the back and just make sure I pull it all the way down to get it nicely positioned so that it doesn't creep up on me. And that's how we're going to position baby in the tummy to tummy. Now I'm going to pull up the shoulder and demonstrate a cradle carry, which we really can only recommend for breastfeeding. And then once you're done feeding, you return baby back to the tummy to tummy or the hip position, but usually if you're breastfeeding, it's going to be tummy to tummy. So here I'm going to bring this up so that I have more room to work. And we're going to lift up baby's bottom, swing her legs up so that she can lie down a little bit more in the cradle position. And what we're aiming for is a nice check mark shape with baby's bottom as the point of the check and her head at the top. I'm just going to rotate her, pull the sling out so that it supports her head. I can see her face. She's still up a little bit high, so I'm going to scoot her bottom down so that she's lying inside the pouch but not covered, and I can see her face. I can see that I can put my fingers underneath her chin, and I could turn her just enough that I could lift up my breast and feed her. And then once we were done feeding, and I was still monitoring her because I can see her and she's very within my physical distance, I would then reach in, and I'm going to reach my hand in and support her under her arm first and sit her up. And I'm actually going to go ahead and return her to a hip position just so I can demonstrate what that looks like. And then we swing her legs back out and down. Again, getting into that M position where her knees are higher than her bum, and her legs are out in the correct position. I'm just going to move her around to the side. And again, I'm going to pull the shoulder down. And just in case you didn't see it the first time, I'm going to reach up and pull that and pull it all the way down my shoulder. And that gets it nice and snug. And now she's snug against me on my hip, and I can carry on knowing that she's safe. If baby requires a little more head support, you can find a happy medium between pulling your shoulder down and pulling up the back of this just to make sure baby's head is supported, but also always making sure you can see their face and monitoring their airway. And that covers cradle and tummy to tummy and a hip carry, and how to breastfeed in a pouch sling.